Thank you very much. So the second half of the program is the part that was sort of condensed to go with the Burundi Bar. And it's particularly appropriate because all of the music and art and poetry from this half of the show is centered around the children from Terezin. I hope that you all had a chance to look at the artwork out in the lobby. All of those drawings were done by Ela Weissberger, who's here. Those are all her drawings. And she gave us a real treat by bringing those to us so that we could display them for you. So if you didn't get a chance to look at those when the program is over, please feel free to go out in the lobby and look at those. The songs tonight in this half are all by Ela Weissberger. And she is unusual because she was not a composer by profession. Before she was in the camp, she actually wrote children's stories for a radio program, a couple of stories. But she worked as a nurse as well. And so when she came to Terezin, she was assigned to be the nurse that was the head of the children's ward in Terezin. And so somehow, miraculously, we still don't really know how, she smuggled in a guitar. And while she was nursing the sick children, she was also writing little songs for them to cheer them up and to help them feel better and to sleep well. And so you'll see that several of these are lullabies, and a lot of them are just really very hopeful, which I think is miraculous considering everything that they all went through. Ilza herself really had suffered quite a bit of tragedy even before she came to Terezin. She had 2 sons, and when they knew that something was going to happen, they worked very diligently to get her older son out of the country and into safety. And she was able to get her older son out to freedom, but her younger son, Tommy, didn't make it out in time. So she and Tommy were in Terezin together, and neither one of them survived. The real hardship for Ela Weissberger while she was there was feeling disconnected from the son that she had saved. That a son shouldn't grow up without a mother, but that a son shouldn't have to live through the hell that she was living through either. So she was torn there, and one of the songs that you'll see the translation for tonight, she's really wrote that for her son and for herself, to sort of encourage herself that she had indeed done the right thing. And then it's interspersed up on the screen with artwork and with poetry. And when this is done, then we will have our honored guest come and say a few words to us. Thank you very much.
When a new child comes, everything seems strange to him. What, on the ground I have to lie? Eat black potatoes? No, not I. I've got to stay. It's dirty here. The floor, why look, it's dirt I fear. Am I supposed to sleep on it? I'll get all dirty. Hear the sound of shouting, cries, and oh, so many flies. Everyone knows flies carry disease. Oh, something bit me. Wasn't that a bedbug? Here in Terezin, life is hell. And when I'll go home again, I can't yet tell.
Ein Kind
filth in dirty walls, and all around barbed wire, and 30,000 souls who sleep, and once will wake, and once will see their own blood spilled. I was once a little child, 3 years ago, that child who longed for other worlds. But now I am no more a child, for I have learned to hate. I am a grown-up person now. I have known fear. Bloody words and a dead day then, that's something different than a boogeyman. But anyway, I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up child again and start to laugh and play. I'll go back to childhood, sweet like a briar rose, like a bell which wakes us from a dream, like a mother with an ailing child, loves him with an aching woman's love. How tragic then, for children on your lap, to say this for the good, that for the bad. Somewhere, far away out there, childhood sweetly sleeps. Along that path among the trees, there was that house, which was once my pride and joy. There my mother gave me birth into this world so that I could weep. In the flame of candles by my bed I sleep, and once perhaps I'll understand that I was such a little thing, as little as this song. These 30,000 souls who sleep among the trees awake, open eyes, and because they see a lot, they'll fall asleep again. Under our windows is a nice train. It comes each day roaring like a dragon. We know it well. We're glad it's ours. When freedom comes, it will take us away. Under our windows is a nice train. We're going to Prague, to Wenceslas Square. We'll all sing, looking out the windows. We're going to Prague, to Wenceslas Square. Terezin is full of beauty. It's in your eyes now here, and through the street the tramp of many marching feet I hear. In the ghetto at Terezin, it looks that way to me. It's a square kilometer of earth, cut off from the world that's free. Death, after all, claims everyone. You find it everywhere. It catches up with even those who wear their noses in the air. The whole wide world is ruled with a certain justice, so that helps perhaps to sweeten the poor man's pain and woe. A Jew I shall remain. Even if I die of hunger, I will not give up my nation. I will fight always for my nation, on my honor. I will never be ashamed of my nation, on my honor. I am proud of my nation, a nation most worthy of honor. I shall always be oppressed. I shall always live again.
very honored to be with you people, and it is sometimes very hard to talk about it. Sometimes we have to cry, but I'm not crying alone. There are many, many people that they are remembering those children that they didn't make it. So I devoted my life after I reached certain age that those children should be never forgotten, because they died for no reason. And as probably you know, that we survivors should really remember those that they couldn't survive. Even the teachers and everybody helped us children somehow to give us hope that one day we will be free. I really don't know where to start, but I think that one thing I always will remember, this year, it is 70 years that I first was performing in the Children's Opera Boulevard. 70 years, sometimes, you know, it is like it happened not long ago. But now when I'm looking how old I am, so I know it is really a long time ago that I enjoyed to be part in this little opera. You know, I was kind of show-off child. You know. I loved to come out and to participate with anything. So not all the children had this privilege like I had, that I was involved with music, I was involved with painting with my very favorite teacher, Friederike Branders. And there were more things that probably even Megan doesn't know. I was part with my two friends, and we called ourselves our trio. There was an organization in the camp that was called in Hebrew Yad Tomechet, helping hand. But we were too young to take care of the old people, to do their laundry. Laundry was not the regular laundry, you know. So they decided, the three of us, my friend Maria and my friend Anna, we called her Flaška, because her name was Flachova, and so we called her Flaška. So we were always going to sing to people, old people in different languages, because some people were from Holland, somebody Germany, and today the children are asking me, what you were singing as children to those people? So I said, you know, we didn't sing children's songs. We were singing Traumerei from Schumann, and we were singing many songs, what they were written by Dvořák, the biblical songs and all that. So we started very early to be involved with classical music, and today I have to say that I knew most of those wonderful, wonderful, talented geniuses, Victor Ullmann and others, and who was the closest to me really was Gideon Klein, who was the youngest, gorgeous man, 22 years old. When he came to our room, because our caretaker was a music teacher, So we started to sing very early, before Brundibar even came to Terezin. And he was writing for us Hebrew songs, and we didn't know what we are singing. But now I speak Hebrew, so I know what I was singing 70 years ago. But it was important. The music was part, first of all, that we were singing in Brundibar against the Nazis. This was on our mind, that Brundibar was Hitler, and we will one day overcome him and we will be free. So when, I don't know if you were in the classes that I was talking about my way, I don't know if you saw, but when we were in Prague, so we had to be just our names. They started to give us also something. And this is the Jewish stuff. We had to buy it. 3 of those we had to buy. We had to wear it all the time. And only one time we didn't have to, when we sang in Brundibar. They allowed us to take it off. So probably you will see, part you will see in the 60 minutes, that we didn't have the song. But it became my lucky start. And it says Jude, it means Jew. I'm very proud to be Jewish, especially now, when I'm fighting those deniers that nothing happened, that we making it up. So I think that it gives us possibilities like you gave me, that to speak about it to students, and they will again help us to bring it to next generations, that it should really not happen to young people and to students. And when I'm taking my Jewish star out, so I have bidded something, and when we were registered under numbers. So we came to Terezin and we had hanging our number on our neck. And from that time, we were not allowed to use our name, only by numbers. But, you know, not long ago, really, a couple years ago, I have to say, I was speaking about my art teacher, Friederike Brandeis, and she devoted her life for us. She didn't have her own children, so she was really most of the time. And our room 28, we were girls in that room, that she would come very often. And I remember how proud I was when she rolled up the papers, what we made our pictures, and I put them under my arm and I walked to her room. This was not a room, this was really a little piece that there was storage or something. But as you walked to her room, this was something very special. She hung some sheets on her wall, and her paintings that she did in Terezin was displayed. I really didn't want to go back out from that room. It brought me to a completely different world. And the words, what she was talking to us and to me, are still in me. I can't forget those words. For instance, when there was a beautiful Labor Day, it wasn't so cold like it was today. It was sunny. And she would take us to the windows of our room and she would say, "Children, look up. It's a beautiful day. Theresienstadt is surrounded by mountains. Above those mountains is sun. But what is important is behind those mountains. Behind those mountains is hope for you to survive." So here I am. I survived. One of the 15,000 children that we were in Terezin. And at the end of the war, at my age, or maybe a little older, the younger children didn't survive. So we were about 100 of us that we survived. But the memory of my friends is still in me. And you probably saw Brunjevar, the kid from Pilsen, beer, Pilsen beer. He was an orphan. And his dream, when he was in Terezin, was to become an actor. So he asked Rudi Freudenfeld, who really organized Brunjevar and smuggled in the piano score. He asked him for the role to be Brunjevar, and he got it. When all the children were sent about middle of October 1944 to Auschwitz-Birkenau, they liked to look at the boys because they still weren't, very, very skinny. They were capable to go to work. But Dr. Mengele, the doctor of death, was measuring those boys by a string. Honza Dreiflinger, the Brunjevar of Terezin, was a little bit smaller than probably at this age boys. He was missing to reach about 1 inch the rope. So he was sent to his death. And maybe you saw from the propaganda film our last, or maybe almost the last performance, all those kids that you saw, that they came to see Brunjevar. They were all in gas chambers and died. They were murdered because they didn't do anything wrong. They were wonderful children. So I don't know really how long I can talk. 2 minutes. Okay. I love to tell all my stories because I think that they are in me and I can get rid of them. And I think that some of them are not everyday story, because I think that in a way I learned many things also in Terezin because I had this opportunity to have those wonderful professors and teachers, and I think that they helped us to survive. And I was invited in a church, and I was never in Episcopal church. I was in other churches, but this one I wasn't there, but I thought that I should tell there were a lot of children. So I thought that I will tell them something that probably they didn't hear before. How much we were suffering. And then Nazis tried to take everything from us. So it hits me also that we had to give up in Prague before we were leaving to Terezin, even the house pets. And my very good friend that she survived the death march, and she got adopted to Russia, that it wasn't the best way to live after all what she really went through. She lost the whole family. But when we met in 1986 in Prague, the first time, the girls from room 28. So she said, Ela, you remember that we had to give up our pets? I said, I remember, but we couldn't have our pet anymore because this was a German Shepherd and we didn't have space where to sleep ourselves. So we had to give to somebody the pet. She said, but you know, I had a little canary. I called him Punja. And when we had to give up the pets, so I was walking with this beautiful cage with Punja, and I was crying and telling Punja, I will not give it to the Nazis, you know, you will stay with me as long as I can hold you. And she was telling me the story, and she brought me to a house in Prague, in the old section, and there was a lady looking out, and she said, you know, I had this canary in my cage, and I asked the lady if she would adopt my Punja, because I don't want to give him up to the Nazis. And the lady said, okay, give it to me. Through the window, she gave him Punja. We are meeting almost every year in Czech Republic, in the mountains, what you saw, beautiful mountains. And that year, you know, we met, and she took me again to the window where she put Punja. But there was a plywood on the window. So she said, Ela, my Punja probably died with this lady there. We don't come anymore. The Punja is now dead. So this was the last time that she took me again to that window to tell me her story about Punja. But now she has a book, and the book is called My Life Story on One Page, because in Russia she had to put on the forms that she's Jewish, and she wasn't accepted to colleges. But she got through somebody to visit her place where she was born, Prague. And she writes now even in her book about Punja. Okay. It's not Ela Weissberger, but it's nice music. So, you know, we have a lot of stories in ourselves, and you are helping me to tell them. Some are very sad, but some I still like to repeat. And you know, many of you will forgive me one thing. You know, I was going through the Czech, and there was one part about dove. And I had to tell her a story that the dove that we were calling in my room a girl my age, that she was like little McCauley. She wasn't really retarded, but she was slow, you know. And every time we found out that when we sang a song about dove, she would jump out from her bed and she started to be dove and dance. But we were such a bad kid sometimes that we wanted her to dance for us, so we always told her that she and started to sing this song, Ela Weissberger. One day she did something. Okay, she had an accident at night. And my caretaker was so crazy about cleanliness and all that. Because of that, I didn't like her so much. And she called on her somebody, and they put her in a straitjacket to punish her for that. I felt so sorry for this girl. And with another girl, about in 2-3 days, we wanted to see and talk to her. And she was in the barrack for retarded and for crazy people. All of a sudden, we see her still after 3 days, laying in bed. And she was still tied up. In Auschwitz, her mother was talking to Dr. Mengele, and she wanted to save her little girl, Hannah. So she started to tell him she is really good girl, she is only a little bit quiet. So she hoped that he will not send her to the left, to the gas chamber, but he did. So when I found it out, I still felt and I still feel sorry what was done to her for very little thing. So we had very happy days that we were a little crazy, dancing and all that, singing, but I learned a lot of things that I still keep in my life. First of all, I really wanted to tell you that the Nazis were harming us wherever they could have. Because when I came to Terezin, they were hanging 9 young men were punished by hanging, and they took us kids from the barrack to show us. When we will do what they did, we will be there too. And they let the 9 young people hanging whole week and bringing people to show what will be done in Terezin. So luckily only 2 hangings were at my time when I came. But there were other very bad things, that they did to us. But there are 3 things they couldn't harm us with. And I will read it to you because I got it from somebody, and I think that it was the truth. The Nazi could not take from us, especially 3 things. They could not take the blue sky from us, to which we also always looked up. They could not take us the bright sunshine which flooded our courtyard and nourished us and our tree. But most of all, they could not take from us our invisible God, buried deeply in our hearts. And this is still there. So I got a little that I should finish because I can sleep overnight. It's good that if you let me sleep in, I will tell you stories till the morning. But there is one thing that I always finish, and this is a little poem that was written by Ela Weissberger. And this poem became mine. I translated it with my not such a good English, but I translated it. And I always finish to tell this story because this is about my friends. I lost my old friends, and I have a lot of new friends, thanks to you. And it says, and you and I, and we are friends. and you and I, and we love each other. In Terezin we met, friends in need, hand in hand. And you and I, friends we still be. And you and I shall never forget. So please, remember also my friend, and I will be very thankful for it, that they are not forgotten. So thank you.